Hello YouTube. I'm going to continue on with my drawing of Leo here in this video. And as you notice, I've already kind of gone ahead a little bit here. I did actually film it, but the video got messed up, so I apologize. But anyway, there's still plenty more of Leo to draw here, so that you can pick up whatever things, tips or whatever that you might find valuable for your own drawing. Now I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. It's hard to get close-ups and at the same time let you see the whole thing there, and I do get a little concerned that I start drawing off the camera, you won't see it. But anyway, what I've done is I've continued to add a darkened area here to define this shape of his forehead, where he has this protruding area here, and he's got, of course, going to have one here, and you can see that there. Now what I haven't done yet, but what I've done down here, and see if you can pick up on that. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. But as you can see that in the reference photo, his skin isn't just dark and light. It's got a mixture of textures in here. It's almost like you have mid-tone and lighter tone, kind of dotted. That's his skin. As you can see, the texture of his skin's got all kinds of like dots. And even in the dark areas, you can see it's got his pores and everything. The man can grow a beard and so forth. But see, the whole photograph, it's not just some smooth skin texture. So in order to try to mimic that, you can see that I've gone in with my little eraser here and pretty much just lightly tapped on it with this Mono Zero thing. Let's see, yeah, Mono Zero, that's what it's called. See if we can get it to go into focus. There you go, it's from Tombow. So I can show you up here, for example, I've added some skin. Let me see if I can get this camera to point up here. There we go. And I'll come in a little bit more there. Now I've already started on the hair. You can see just a little bit on the left hand side. I started on the hair, and you can also see that there's some light marks in here and up here, and I use this Tombow Zero for that as well. You definitely want, because the reference photo, as you can see, it's solid black, but you don't want to just draw solid black. I mean, you'll want it dark, but you're going to want some semblance of direction of the hair, that there's actually hair here. And by actually printing out this lighter printout here, you can see there are some light areas here and here. You can see some direction of hair. And so I've done that in some areas here. And some areas I have yet to do it. So for example, I'm just going to put this side by side. Let's see if you can see that. And you can see this little white area here. So you might come in here and you might do something like that. And each time you use the Tombow, you can wipe it, either on your finger or a napkin or your kneaded eraser. You can poke at it, but you want to keep it clean. And so, like for example, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get like this highlight right here. Okay, I'm going to just get that in there. Doesn't have to be exact, but you don't want perfect lines. You just want some indication that there is hair actually here and it's not just things moving in one direction. Okay, so you can see like this highlighted hair right here, so I might, you know, put that in like so, and I've got one already here. I'll bring that out. I could put another one here. I gotta clean my eraser there, and I'll put one right there. So there, just a little bit. It's just kind of a little bit of an accent. There's some right here. I kind of want to get that in there, and I want to get that one in there. There we go. Awesome. All right. So hopefully you can see that it starts to actually look like the hair in the photograph when you just add these little accents instead of just drawing, you know, completely black. That's not going to be great. I mean, these are obviously highlighted here, and I'm definitely going to get all that in when I get this far into the drawing. But you know, this solid black area here, you can really bring that out by just lighting the photograph and trying to find these little tiny marks and so forth that you can actually put a highlight in, and then it starts to look like, oh, okay, I could see that we actually have hair going there. So now I've got some areas here I need to work on. For example, I got to clean this up a little bit, and I'm not going to use the Tombow for that. Let me just go ahead and grab some. Now this here is not a kneaded eraser. This is actually blue tack. You can buy that online, and it's just real good at picking stuff up, but it is sticky. So I kind of pick and choose my battles as far as when I use it, as opposed to using just a kneaded eraser. And I just want to kind of get some of this off of here. Kind of went over a little bit, and I kind of messed up right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this Q-tip right here, and in the direction of the hair, I'm just going to just stroke it like so. Okay. I still haven't gotten that off yet here, so in the direction of the hair again, I'm just going to brush into the hair, but ever so lightly, so I can at least get rid of this area here that I do not like. Okay. I'm going to take my Q-tip again, and I'm going to draw that in with my Q-tip. There we go. Okay. That's the way I like it. All right, that's good. Now, see, since this is in the camera's view here, I guess we'll go with that. Trying to get over a little cold here, so apologize that I'm not editing out my cough. Now, my Q-tip that I have here, for example, it has some graphite still on it. I could go in here and keep working the forehead if I want, for example. And you'll notice that the forehead, you know, it's going to get lighter as it gets in here. So it will start to get lighter and lighter as we get more towards the center here of his forehead. And I could do this with this Q-tip because it will get lighter as I move out towards the center. But I'm not going to go this route. This is just one approach. And also, remember that this forehead also has these textures, as you can see here. And you know, you can go in here, for example, you don't want it to be white, you want it to be mid-tone, so just ever so lightly, you know, just tap. Though I would usually I would just complete the all or most of the forehead before doing this, but I just wanted to kind of demonstrate this to you here right now, because I might complete the forehead off camera, and there's areas that I need to be lighter. I could see that that needs to be a little lightened right there, and I got it too dark here, so I might use this technique to actually help me lighten that area a little bit, like that. And so you just kind of go in here, and don't forget to wipe off the tip of your Tombow from time to time. And be careful not to get too white. If you get too white, you go in there and you want to buff it out a little bit. I just want you to see how I would do this. This is just one simple technique. Okay, I'm going to do a few here, but not much, because this is my dark area. Always look at your reference photo too. Don't just go off on this little tangent of, you know, putting dots all over your. Okay, make sure you don't get any white in this area, because there is no white in this area at all. But I do want to lighten some areas, and what I'll do is I'll just go and blend in it, and it'll darken the little white dots if you get white dots on it. But we want some texture going on here. I'm kind of wiping this off on the back of my hand down here, in case you're wondering where it's going as I'm moving away. Okay, now you'll notice you've got some dark areas in here too. So don't just go in there with your eraser alone. Go in there with, like, let's see, I'll probably use a 2B pencil. I'll use the 2B woodless. There we go. There's the 2B woodless. I hope you can see that. There you go, 2B. And I'm going to pick out some spots here that I see that has, you know, some dark. And make sure that actually goes in there. There's another one there. Here. There. You know, you can go around some of these white dots here and make them look like pores with a little highlighting already in there. Okay. Now, if you see, if it looks a little too pronounced for you, just blend it out. Now I'm going to use a clean end of a Q-tip here. I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. That has a lightening effect. Okay. But don't lose your texture. Just try to be real light about it. There we go. Okay, and there's nice little texture for the forehead. It's interesting, the camera picks up things I can't see on the photograph here, or on the drawing itself. So I'm actually looking it through the camera right now, because I'm going, this looks interesting in there. Anyway, there we go. Tends to magnify a lot of things. And this camera here kind of is in my way somewhat. It's just above my head, and it's not an easy thing to draw. And yeah, my dog whining over here is kind of driving me crazy. But anyway, so I'm drawing, and I got this camera going on here so that you can see what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's basically how I'm going to go about doing, you know, the forehead. So now I'm just going to go ahead and start getting the face drawn more to the center, so I can start working down on the nose and the mouth later on. So to get started, I'll take my lightest pencil. Now the lightest pencil I'm going to go with is a 2H pencil. And again, I started this thing with woodless. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the woodless. So let me find a 2H woodless pencil here. I'm sure I have one somewhere. If I take too long looking for it, I'm going to have to... Here we go. 2H. It's a hard pencil, 2H. Get that to show up there. Come on, show up, will you? Alright, there we go, 2H. These automatic focus could be pretty tough at times. Now, I don't need, let's see here. I don't need these lines, these graph lines in here. I'm going to go ahead and take those out with my kneaded eraser, ever so gently. Just going to take those out right there because I don't need them. There we go. And just halfway across the forehead here is plenty for what I'm doing. Alright, now with the 2H, all I'm interested in here is because of this is mostly light area and you're going to go from dark into light, is I just want to put down some graphite and then I'm going to blend it. So that's all I'm going to do here. And again, I'm doing it with the oval drawing pattern. Just making little ovals, overlapping them, and of course blend them into what you've already drawn. And I'll worry about the details a little later. I just want to get some more graphite down on the paper. So I'm not looking for details just yet. I just wanted to show you a little technique that I was using there for his skin texture that I'm going to give him on this drawing. Okay, as you can see, I'm kind of going into what I've already done before, so I want to kind of get it all blended in together. And when you're blending, you got to be careful. Like, for example, you can see where I've already started with his hair, and that's using the 9xxb or a charcoal, black charcoal pencil, that when you're blending, you don't get that down into his forehead. And you can even do it with the pencil. Like, you can see it's already a little bit right here. And I'll just take this kneaded eraser, for example, so I don't end up blending it into the thing. I'm gonna take it out. You have to be careful with that. You don't want to start getting blotches on his skin with the charcoal, because you're not drawing with charcoal, you're drawing with graphite, except for the real dark areas. I'm using the 9xxb, which is a graphite carbon pencil, and then I've got some charcoal for the hair, because that gives you the darkest darks. I mean, even the 9xxb cannot produce as dark as hair as the charcoal pencils can. So I used, you know, like a soft charcoal, then I moved up to medium and hard. Hard charcoal's good for if you're going to put in like some details, you know, like I did here. That was, you know, get his hairline started anyway. It's not finished, but I wanted to get started. And used a hard charcoal for that. Now you'll notice too that as I'm doing these ovals, that it has just by doing it this way rather than doing the stroke, you know, like from top to bottom down like this, which is another technique for drawing skin, is that this allows for a texture. As you can see, you have a texture already forming here. Now we're going to blend this, but it has already started providing you with a texture. Now I could use another Q-tip like I have been, but I'll show you another thing too. I have this pastel brush here. It's kind of a sponge applicator type thing. Now, I've already used it on something and I'm making sure that it's not going to come off. I'm rubbing it on my fingers here just to make sure that I'm good there. But this is just called the Soft, S-O-F-F-T. And you can actually use this and ever so gently just go around in a circle like this and blend it into what you've already done, so that it doesn't look strange changing tone, you know, too quickly. And as you can see, it has a really nice blending effect here on the paper. Just really nice and smooth. I don't want to get too close to the hairline there, because I'm going to start dragging that dark into, it looks like a little bit already started, so you got to be really careful with that. But I'll just take my kneaded eraser and I'll deal with that. But as you can see, I'm getting a good blend going on here. And I like to also blend in the direction that the forehead is, you know, comes up and over. You can just kind of do that as well. You can see I have some texture already starting in the forehead here, and of course I'll go back in with my pencils and my eraser and make that even more so. But yeah, already starting to get that forehead in there. But I haven't really done much of the detail yet, so that comes later. Right now I just want to get value down. Now I'm going to have to move away here because I'm drawing outside of the camera area. But again, just get the circular drawing motion, holding the pencil in the back like this, and just going around making little circular motions. And don't worry if you think something's going on too dark. You can, when you blend, it's going to get lighter. And you always go darker anyway. You'll always find that you're never going to be drawing, you're not drawing dark enough most of the time, because as you draw in all the neighboring details and stuff, what you have already drawn starts to appear lighter. So don't be afraid to go dark. You can always tone it down if you did go too dark, but I already know that I'm not going too dark, even though it may appear like I am. Once I blend, it lightens up right away. See, I'll come back here and I'll take this little applicator and just kind of blend it in. Yeah, it works pretty good. Be careful not to blend in that dark eyelashes into your skin there. I have to just be real ginger around that area there. There you go. It's looking really good, and I like the fact that I have little details of little dark patterns from doing the oval drawing. You can see you got the slight blotching and so forth, and I like that because in his photograph, that's exactly what he has. You don't have to duplicate his exact, but you have to get the similar pattern so that it gives a very good impression that you've duplicated, that you've drawn exactly what you've seen on the reference photo. Okay, and I'll do a little bit more here, and then I'm going to wrap this up for this video, and we'll move on to the next one. But again, just oval. Just add the oval right here. Don't worry about making it dark enough or light enough or any of that stuff. Just get value down. Get texture down. The paper itself doesn't have that much texture that I use, and I did that on purpose. I wanted more of a smooth paper, and that's what I'm using here. More of a smooth. It's the Bristol XL paper, the recycled one from Canson, and I really like it. It's white paper, which really makes these black and white drawings really pop, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm coming to the middle of his forehead. That's as far as I'm going to go in this video, is to the middle of his forehead. And I'll continue the rest later. And I just want to do a little bit at a time anyway. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I like taking breaks. Breaks are always good because then I come back and I look at the two and I go, I see that I didn't recognize that was there. You come back with a fresh mind that way, fresh eyes. But yeah, just make these ovals, these little round ovals, round, 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 round. That gives you this interesting skin pattern for a man, which, you know, is more realistic. You can see how the ovals, I'm doing all these ovals. And then you're going to blend it. So again, I come up here and I'm going to, the arch of the nose thing here, or I think it's a bridge of the nose, not arch of the nose. I think the arches would be right there. It's the bridge here. Yeah, they suggest you learn anatomy, for drawing portraits and stuff, and that's probably a good idea. It'd be a good idea to know where the nose is and where the ears are and everything, but I kind of bypassed all that and figured, you know what? I don't need to know where all the parts are or all that. All I got to do is just be observant, look at the details. Do you see a change in tonal value? Well, then draw that in. Even though your mind says, no, that should be darker, that should be lighter. What do you see? Draw what you see. Not what you think it should be, but what you see. And if you draw what you see, then what you see is what you get. All right. Okay, so that's the general base of half his forehead there, of his skin. And I will complete the rest of it later. Let me take out some of the blotches here. I don't need that much blotchiness. I'm going to get some of this out here. And if you, for example, if you feel that you got blotches in all the wrong places. Now in this case here, I have a blotch here, I have blotches here, 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 here. I happen to know that the skin color is actually the color of the blotch and not the surrounding area. I can come back in here with my 2H pencil next to that blotch and blend it into the surrounding area. Like so. Again, I'm going to just gently blend. Alright, I'm really liking that. And then I'm going to just kind of take some of that out right there so it doesn't stand out so much. I notice the camera magnifies a lot of this, and in reality it's not what it looks like there. So, there you go. Let me zoom this out now so you can kind of take in more of the picture. So, as I'm working on the drawing here, I'm going to be adding more graphite, and then I'm going to blend. I'm going to add more graphite. I'm going to be working towards darkening the areas here that are right here. You can see this darkened area where there's less light here than there is right here. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, any highlighted areas in there, I'm going to definitely want to dull that out and just keep working it and working it. But you put the base down first. You want to get the base down first. That's, it's going to be the actual color of his skin, at least for this stage of the drawing. You really don't know until you get close to finishing whether you have to go darker or lighter, usually darker on the person's face. But for right now I can tell that I need to go darker here, and so that's what I'm doing here with my 2H. And 2H is not that dark of a pencil, so you're just adding some layers here, and it's not going to hurt anything. You're not going to be able to overdo it. If the 2H is the lightest pencil you're using, then you're going to be just fine. And I'm just looking at this, and I'm just looking to duplicate, you know, what I see here on the reference drawing to my paper. You know, loving the texture. I love the skin texture already. I think it looks really cool, if I say so myself. Alright, so there you go. You can see I kind of darkened that a little bit in there, and you can see it's a little darkened in there, but I'll perfect that more as I go. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm breaking it up into smaller chunks, so I hope you liked you know, what I've shown you here so far, and I'll see you in the next video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and leave comments below. See you in the next video.